everyone's basically saying it takes 3 to 6 months to see results in SEO, but each client varies. I mean, I've seen results within a few weeks, so it's really going to depend on the client. But I think many times it's just kind of the agency's way to kind of milk more money out of their clients so they could essentially kind of make more money.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Scroll Halters, a show where entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers share their best stories and insights. This show is brought to you by Social Marketing Writing. Today, I'm joined by Peter Rota, who's a full-time technical SEO specialist for HUB International and a freelance SEO consultant who works with e-com and small businesses. Hey, Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Could you please tell people a bit more about what you do?
Sure. So, I've been in the SEO space for around 14 years now, but my current full-time role, I essentially lead the technical SEO for Hub International, which is an insurance brokerage. So that's my primary job, and I do a lot of technical SEO, help a lot of content optimization and some of the strategies, and then on the side, I do a good amount of freelance between local SEO, e-commerce. I've been doing a lot of audits lately, and then I post a few times a week on LinkedIn, which obviously you found me through. So yeah, I just like to keep busy and continuously try to like learn new skills, and um, definitely happy to be here today.
Yep. And I see you post a lot of content around the SEO myths that agencies perpetuate and the mistakes a lot of freelancers and agencies make. And what would you say is one of the biggest myths freelancers and agencies perpetuate, especially online?
Yeah, I mean, I would say at least one of the biggest ones I say where it's like everyone's basically saying it takes 3 to 6 months to see results in SEO, but each client varies. I mean, I've seen results within a few weeks, so it's really going to depend on the client. But I think many times it's just kind of the agency's way to kind of milk more money out of their clients so they could essentially kind of make more money. So I try to always be transparent and be pretty forward in what they should expect. And I mean, yeah, I so like just being honest upfront and not milking clients, because like I've always looked at it like I want to be treated how I want someone else to treat me. So I just try to be a good person so I can sleep well at night.
And you mentioned that you've helped clients get results in a few weeks. Are these pieces is that for people who just started SEO, or those are companies that were already doing SEO and you came in and made some changes?
Yeah, I mean it sometimes it really depends. I mean, a lot of those clients tend to be a lot of local SEO clients, so sometimes it's just like better optimized than GMB through more relevant categories or a better business description or better optimization of a lot of their title tags and better internal linking. But um yeah, generally it's just smaller companies. I feel like once you start to get in like the bigger companies, you sometimes already established, so SEO takes a bit longer. So yeah, it really just depends on the client, and the vertical. The local SEO, I feel like definitely you could see results a lot faster because there's not as many moving parts where it's say you have like 1,000 page website where it's just a lot more things are happening, and you kind of have to sometimes go through approvals or things like that. So yeah, I would say definitely like a local SEO tends to be quicker.
Okay. And what do you think is the most important aspect of a successful SEO campaign? Is it more the content or backlinks or technical SEO?
I think it's a mix, but I mean, I think something I don't hear enough is like communicating and figuring out what the client actually wants, because a lot of SEO agencies or consultants will deliver all this amazing traffic, but none of it converts, so they're not making the client more money. So personally, my approach is to always um the primary goal is to make more money. And how you do that is through increasing the traffic and better conversions. But I mean, it's a mix personally of better on page, better off page, technical. I think they kind of all work in synergy. I mean, personally, I look at like the technical SEO as kind of like a foundation. So you want to make sure that's strong there. And then a way you build upon that is by having a strong on page and technical and content optimization, title tags, internal linking. And then also at the same time, you're actively trying to build backlinks. So I often do that, do a lot of guest posting, niche edits. I'm a big fan of using press releases, especially in locals, to kind of embed the GMBs as well as the CID. So I've seen good results there. So I think any SEO campaign is just multifaceted. And even now, it's like trying to have traffic in other avenues because as we're seeing, like a lot, Google is taking more and more traffic. So not be solely dependent on SEO as your only growth channel.
And what do you think businesses can do to, I mean, in this, especially in this AI overview um, situation where, as you mentioned, they're losing traffic? What do you think businesses can do to evolve and, continue uh, generating the same amount of revenue they were getting or more?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I don't hear talked about enough is better conversion rate optimization. So once people get on your site, making it as easy as possible for them to kind of convert. You want to make sure the website's super fast because most people at this time, I feel like we're a very instant gratification society now. So unless something loads super fast, it's like I'm gonna go back to the search engine. So once people do get on your site, it's like you keep them there. You're one each page has a little specific goal. And just using things like social proof. So say it's like you're selling e-commerce, so maybe it's like 1,000 people have already added this product to their cart today or this week. So just using a mix of psychology and just a fast website. At the same time, like if you don't already have an email list, so basically you can control the traffic and you're not dependent on Google. Also building a strong brand. Um, I mean, I still am doing some top of the funnel type keywords, but obviously I think it's also communicating to your clients that maybe they may lose traffic, but their impressions will be up and maybe their conversions will increase. So I think it's always just being transparent with the client and letting them know what's happening versus like lying about it or being like, oh, like we can improve your ranking to like the #1 page and blah blah blah.
And when you mentioned CRO, is that something you help clients with, or you?
It's not something I implicitly offer, but I know like some of the fundamentals. So, I mean, I've worked with clients where it's like you go to a website and it's super cluttered, or they have a contact form and they're asking for all this crazy amount of information. So, I just try to make sure we're providing a good use of its experience because I know sometimes indirectly and indirectly Google does mention that is implicitly part of what they use in their algorithms. So, I mean, I kind of try to put myself in the point of view of a visitor. So it's like if I'm such and such, like when I get to this page, is it easy for me to find like what I need? Is like the headline, does the headline easily compel like what the page is about of the product? So I just try to implicitly just try to think of those things.
And you mostly work with e-commerce companies, e-commerce sites.
Yeah, I mean, I do a mix, but I would definitely say my bread and butter is a lot of e-commerce and local SEO. But I've also consulted with travel bloggers, men's health companies. So yeah, I mean, and obviously, like I mentioned, I in my full-time job, I do enterprise SEO. So I'm done everything. I mean, it was a while back, but I've done a lot. I did a lot of affiliate SEO and sold a few sites, so I'm pretty confident in working in most or niches and kind of different types of SEO.
And the way you approach SEO, does it depend on the niche that you're targeting? For example, the way you do SEO for a SaaS company is very different from the way you do SEO for an e-commerce site.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have not worked with a significant amount of SaaSes, but I think it kind of goes back to building the fundamentals. So kind of understanding who the audience is, what their language are. I know at least with SaaS, it's a lot more comparison type and just such and such product versus such and such. So comparison and just, but I mean, it's a lot the same fundamentals. It's just like having a good site, making sure it's fast, making sure you have descriptive internal links, making it as easy as possible for Google to like crawl their site. If you are using JavaScript, ideally you have it server side and or you're using pre-rendered things like that. So I think at this point it's just try to make Google's job as easy as possible because with the advent of AI content, there's so much just junk going on the web and Google has to crawl everything and they're like I feel like their resources are almost like taxed out. So just making Google's job slash any other search engine easy as possible.
Okay. And um, but when you do SEO for these sites, are you just doing SEO for commercial pages, or also you also helping them build out a good content strategy?
It's a mix. I mean, I've done things where like I've optimized their product category pages, product detail pages, but I also I'm a heavy proponent of trying to create a blogging strategy. So in my e-commerce clients, I tend to try to at least have 5 to 6 blog posts a month that kind of help kind of improve the topical authority around those major product categories. And then I'll often try to at least have 5 to 6 contextual internal links to other blog pages slash product categories when I can. So I try to tackle SEO in a multifaceted where you're hitting all the different cycles and stages of the buyer's journey.
And you also mentioned that you've had some good success with using AI generated content, especially for blog posts. I think you shared something on LinkedIn about how you published a couple of blog posts with AI and they're ranking at the top and generating quite a lot of traffic.
Yeah. So at least I had a case study where essentially I was publishing 5 to 6 AI content posts a month. So I was using a tool called Writer, which is a pretty solid tool. So I was essentially what I was doing is using AI to essentially kind of pull the content outline using competitors' topics and kind of having ChatGPT add things that weren't in there. And then I essentially used server SEO and I basically pulled all the keywords, as entities it mentioned there, and basically had ZimWriter create the content. And yeah, I mean, last I checked, at least year over year, that client was up like 1,200% in Search Console, which is insane. I mean, they didn't do a ton of SEO to start with, but they're up like significantly. So, and then also their e-commerce saw a significant boost as well. So, definitely don't believe the myth that AI content can't rank or AI content can't rank long term. I mean, I think any SEO strategy you want to have an evergreen. So at least when I focus on the AI content, it's trying to have the key takeaways early on, making sure when I am answering questions, it's in NLP format and just trying to have a good header structure. But I mean, I also was focusing on a lot of external links, so I was trying to get, I think, 6 to 8 a month between either niche edits or guest posts, and then we did one, or I think we did one press release, which did pretty well. So I definitely just try to have a multifaceted approach in how I approach SEO and just for long term results.
Okay, that's interesting. And how long would you say it takes you to create create a piece of AI content?
Mm, Not too long. I was able to do it, and the whole process I think ended up taking maybe I haven't done a walk because I have a VA now, but I think it was maybe like 30 minutes. So not like a super long process, and the amount you save, and I mean the quality comes out pretty solid. So I mean it's funny because like when I first started in SEO, we were paying like people in like third world countries to like create this content, and now it's like I can get this content and it's better quality. So it's just funny how things change over time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's made AI has made it harder for writers who offer cheap writing services.
Yeah.
I think if you're still offering quality, more thought authority pieces, it's there's still work out there. Or maybe you're focused more on generating revenue, but the lower just the content generated type writers, they're losing out on work because of AI.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not great for them, but I guess overall it makes the quality of the human content have to increase in a way because that's like now I have AI content which does pretty well, so it's like kind of they have to improve their quality too. So it's a catch 22 in a way.
And which AI tools do you prefer using? You mentioned ZimWriter and ChatGPT. Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean I use those. I use Surfer SEO a good amount, so um they kind of use AI in some of like the entities, and I've also used it to like insert links, and then they have like some AI content features in there where you can basically fill gaps between like facts and information. So I like that too specifically. I've also have slash used tools like Write Sonic, which is pretty solid. So um yeah, I mean I would say that's like my tool stack at this point, at least for
Mm.
AI.
Okay, this is nice. And you want to share with our listeners one of your biggest SEO wins, something, so any interesting case studies that you've helped clients achieve?
Yeah, sure. So I was mentioning it a bit earlier, but essentially I had an e-commerce client and they've been around 80 or so years, but they didn't have like a really big Google presence. So essentially when I came on, I basically audited the site. I re-optimized all like the title tags, headers, better optimized internal linking, product category pages. I added more content slash improved the title tags there. We created a blog strategy, so we were doing 5 to 6 blog posts a month through kind of topics that would be relevant to some of the category pages slash the buyer's journey, and then focus around 6 to 8 internal, sorry, 6 to 8 backlinks a month. So last I checked, year over year, they're up by like 1,500% in Search Console, and I think e-commerce wise, least purchases, they're up at least like 80%. So I definitely saw pretty significant growth there. Also, keywords ranked was like way up as well. So yeah, I mean that's a big one. And I think what helped them is they have a pretty strong branded presence. So people know their brand, so that's always helped them. But like their biggest opportunity was kind of improving their non-branded, and then we also added them in Google Merchant Center to kind of appear on some of those free listings. So yeah, I would say that's definitely my biggest e-commerce win to date.
Okay. Can you tell people how they can find you if they need your help with SEO?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So once again, my name's Peter Rota. If you Google me, my LinkedIn comes up, but I also have a website, peterrotaseo.com. And yeah, you can find me on there, Upwork. But yeah, just Google my name and you'll be able to reach out to me, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. So
Okay, everyone. Yep. Thank you for joining us. And if you need any SEO help, please reach out to Peter and yeah, he'll be able to sort you out. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Bye.